Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking these really well-known principles of effectiveness. You know the ones.
The 7 habits. Absolutely massive influence.
Right. And we're pointing them squarely at, well, maybe the most important place, your home, your family relationships.
Yeah, we're diving deep into Stephen Covey's framework here, but specifically looking at what it tells us about creating and, strengthening those family bonds.
It's kind of amazing, isn't it? Over 15 million books sold, all those translations.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to move past just individual success.
Exactly. This is about collective significance. How does this apply when it's us, not just me?
And Covey himself, Harvard MBA, but his whole life was about this principle-centered living idea.
And what's really interesting in the sources is how they almost treat family effectiveness like a science. They argue there are predictable laws.
So it's not just luck or messy psychology. There's a system.
That's the argument, a kind of shortcut, almost, to stronger relationships if you understand the principles.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Because applying a framework we often see in business to family, that feels like a big shift.
It is, and like all big shifts, it has to start internally, right? With ourselves.
Not trying to fix your partner or your kids first.
Precisely. It starts with habit 1.
Yes, so habit 1, be proactive. We kind of know this one.
Yeah.
But where does it usually break down at home?
Right in the heat of the moment, doesn't it? When someone pushes your buttons, it's easy to be proactive planning your week, maybe less so when your teenager is yelling at you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what do the sources say about that moment, that, immediate flashpoint?
They talk about the pause button. It's crucial, creating that tiny space between what happens to the stimulus and how you react.
Okay, a pause button sounds good, but how do you actually press it when you're seeing red? We just default, don't we, to the old scripts?
We do, but Covey argues we have these 4 unique human gifts that enable the pause. They're like the muscles you need to flex.
Okay, what are they?
First, self-awareness, just recognizing, wow, I'm really angry right now, or I'm feeling defensive.
Just noticing your own state.
Second, conscience. That inner sense of right and wrong whispering, yelling back probably isn't the best move here.
Okay.
Third, imagination. The ability to picture a different outcome. What if I responded calmly? How might this go?
So, envisioning a better way.
And fourth, independent will. This is the power to actually choose that better way, even when your emotions are screaming at you to react.
Right. It takes actual willpower to override the impulse.
It really does, and it ties into where you put your focus. Are you stuck in the circle of concern, everything you can't control, like your spouse's mood?
Which leads to blaming language, right? He's so inconsiderate, she never listens.
Exactly. Reactive. Proactivity means shifting to your circle of influence. What can you control? Your response, your tone, maybe how you approach the conversation later.
That takes guts, looking inward first.
It's foundational, and it leads straight into habit 2. Begin with the end in mind.
The blueprint idea. You wouldn't build a house without one.
Or a family, the sources argue. If you don't have a shared vision of what you're building together, you're just reacting to problems as they come up. It's chaos.
Now, I have to push back a bit here. A family mission statement. Doesn't that sound a little corporate? A bit sterile for family life?
I get that. And the sources acknowledge it can feel that way initially, but the justification is that without one, you bump into all these hidden, conflicting blueprints anyway.
What do you mean, like unspoken expectations?
Yeah. Like one person assumes chores are split 50-50 because that's fair. The other assumes roles based on how their parents did it, or ideas about money or discipline. They're often totally different and unvoiced.
Until you have a fight about them.
Exactly. The mission statement forces you to surface those expectations and agree on a shared constitution. It defines the we. It's not about ROI, it's about shared values and purpose.
And the process itself matters, doesn't it? Getting everyone involved.
Hugely. The sources really emphasize that. Asking the kids, how can we be better parents? That vulnerability, that collaboration, that's the bonding. That's the real deposit.
So when conflicts do come up later,
you have something to point back to. You can ask, okay, how does this decision align with our family mission? It shifts the focus from me versus you to us versus the problem. Being one becomes more important than being right.
Okay, so we have our internal compass with habit 1, our destination with habit 2. Now, habit 3 is about the journey, right? Put first things first.
Yeah, this is where the rubber meets the road. It's about sorting the truly important from the merely urgent.
And the trap is always the urgent, isn't it? The phone ringing, the immediate demand.
Always. The sources say less effective families are constantly putting out fires the urgent stuff. Successful families proactively schedule the important non-urgent things.
Like what specifically?
Things like quality time, planning, relationship building. Doing that consistently actually reduces the number of crises down the line. It's preventative.
This is the big rocks analogy, isn't it? Put the big priorities in the jar first, or they won't fit later.
Exactly. If you don't schedule that weekly family time or commit to regular one-on-one bonding, the little urgent pebbles in sand will just fill up all the space.
And it often requires a sacrifice, like that story in the sources about the dad in the Star Wars movie.
Oh, that's a great one. He really didn't want to go, apparently hated those movies, but his daughter did. So he put her big rock first.
And the impact wasn't just, yay, movie.
No, the daughter's takeaway years later was profound. She said, he loved me because he chose her priority over his preference. That's a massive EBA deposit, as we'll discuss later.
Right. Those consistent choices, putting important relationships first, they build momentum, which leads to these 4 levels of family fulfillment the sources talk about.
Yeah, it's like a trajectory from just getting by to something much richer.
So what's level 1?
Level 1 is survival. Just chaos, confusion, maybe living crisis to crisis. The focus is purely negative, just trying to stop the bad stuff from happening.
Okay, getting by. Then level 2.
Level 2 is stability. This comes from getting organized. Schedules, routines, better communication, things become predictable, dependable, a bit calmer.
Makes sense. What's level 3?
Level 3 is success. This is where the family starts setting and achieving meaningful goals together. There's genuine happiness, connection. The focus shifts to better living, better loving, better learning. It feels good.
Okay, success sounds pretty great. Is that the peak?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But these sources propose level 4, significance.
Significance. What does that mean? Beyond internal happiness.
Exactly. It's when the family becomes involved in something meaningful outside of itself, contributing to the community, serving others, leaving a legacy.
So it's an outward turn.
Yes, it shifts the whole family's energy from just solving internal problems or seeking internal comfort towards creating positive impact in the world. Like that family who, even when they didn't have much money, defined themselves as a family who helps others.
Wow. So significance isn't about wealth, it's about contribution.
Precisely. It reframes the family's purpose.
Okay, moving from the individual habits to the ones about working together, habits 4, 5, and 6, this is where interdependence comes in.
Right. And the absolute bedrock, the currency of all these interdependent habits is trust, which Covey represents with the emotional bank account, the EBA.
I love that metaphor. So deposits build trust, withdrawals erode it.
Exactly. And deposits can be big or small. The sources mention little kindnesses, saying thank you, maybe those 12 hugs a day someone researched. Just small, consistent gestures.
It's the consistency that matters.
Absolutely. And loyalty is huge. The book insists. Talk about others as if they were present. Gossip, bad-mouthing someone who isn't there. It's a massive withdrawal, not just with that person, but it poisons the whole family atmosphere. People wonder, what do they say about me when I'm not here?
That's powerful. What about really big deposits?
Apologizing, sincerely. The sources saying, I'm sorry, I was wrong, is maybe the toughest test of those 4 human gifts we talked about earlier.
Self-awareness to see you messed up, conscience to know you should fix it, imagination to see how, and independent will to actually do it, even when your ego is screaming no.
You got it. It prioritizes the relationship over being right. Huge deposit.
And all that trust built up. It paves the way for habit 5, doesn't it? Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Yes. Because you can't truly understand someone if there's no trust, no psychological safety. The core idea here is empathy. Recognizing that people see the world based on their own experiences, their own conditioning.
Like that Indian Eskimo perception picture example.
Yeah.
We see what we're conditioned to see.
Exactly. So often in families, we jump straight to trying to be understood, to giving advice, evaluating, probing, before we've actually heard the other person.
We're just reloading our own argument while they're talking.
Right. But seeking to understand first, really listening with your heart, not just your ears, that gives the other person psychological air, as Covey calls it. It's validating. It's maybe the highest EBA deposit there is.
Like that story about Sandra and the Frigidaire appliances.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Her husband just couldn't get why she had to buy Frigidaire, even if reviews weren't great. It seemed illogical.
But it wasn't about logic for her, was it?
Not at all. After really, truly listening Habit 5 in action, he finally understood it connected back to deep childhood memories of her father, his hard work, and how the company had helped their family. Those appliances symbolized integrity and survival for her.
Wow. Understanding that changes everything. You stop arguing about the appliance and start connecting with the person's history, their heart.
Exactly. And when you have that level of trust from habit 4 and that deep understanding from habit 5,
Yeah.
then you can achieve habit 6. Synergize.
Synergy, the 1 + 1 = 3 idea. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Right. It's finding solutions together that neither person could have come up with alone. But the key, the absolute key, is valuing the differences between you.
Not just tolerating differences, but celebrating them.
Yes. Like the body needs hands and feet and a heart. The sources give the example of the couple. One very logical, one very creative and holistic. They used to clash.
But once they learned to understand each other,
They synergized. His logic grounded her creativity. Her holistic view expanded his precision. They came up with much richer solutions because they were different, not in spite of it.
okay, synergy sounds amazing, but honestly also kind of exhausting. Constantly trying to understand differences and find third alternatives. How do you keep that going without burning out?
Perfect segue to the final habit. Habit 7, sharpen the saw. This is the habit of renewal. It's about not letting the saw get dull.
So recharging the batteries, basically.
Exactly. But in a balanced way across 4 key areas: the physical, the social, emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. You need to refuel all dimensions.
And in a family context, how does this sharpening the saw actually happen? What does it look like?
The sources really point to family traditions as the core mechanism. Consistent, repeated patterns that nurture the family.
Tradition, so not just big holidays, but regular things.
Yes, they don't have to be elaborate or expensive. They just need to be regular patterns that strengthen the family's vision, its social bonds, its shared meaning.
Like what kind of things?
Well, think about family dinners, so often overlooked now, but the sources cite data linking regular family dinners to really positive outcomes for kids. Like, teenagers who eat with their families regularly are significantly less likely to engage in risky behaviors.
It's that consistent connection point, not just about the food.
Right. It's social, emotional, sometimes even mental or spiritual renewal happening naturally around the table.
What else?
Learning together could be simple, like using car rides to learn songs or listen to audiobooks, or having a family library habit, maybe grabbing a stack of books together every couple of weeks. Some families do daily devotionals focusing on wisdom literature.
So feeding the mind and spirit together.
And crucially, serving together. This ties back to that level 4 significance. Quilting for a local shelter, doing anonymous good deed drop-offs for neighbors, like the Phantom family example.
That teaches contribution as part of the family identity.
Exactly. It sharpens the saw by connecting the family to a larger purpose.
So this constant renewal, these traditions, they're what keep the family resilient, able to handle the tough times.
That's the idea. The sources use this wonderful metaphor of an airplane flight plan. You know, a plane is actually off course most of the time due to wind, turbulence.
Right, the pilot is constantly making micro corrections.
Exactly. Family life is like that. It's turbulent. You'll get off course. There will be deviations, emergencies, unexpected stuff. But the hope isn't in having a perfectly smooth flight.
The hope is in.
The hope is in having a clear destination, your vision, your
Yeah.
mission, a solid flight plan, the habits, the principles, the traditions, and the courage and commitment to keep making those corrections, keep coming back to the plan, sharpening the saw time and time again. Hashtag tag tag outro.
So when you pull it all together, what's the big takeaway here? What does this deep dive really tell us?
I think it tells us that effective, happy, significant family life, it's not an accident. It doesn't just happen. It's an achievement.
An achievement built on conscious choices.
Right. Deliberate, proactive choices based on principles. It's about replacing that sort of chaotic, reactive way of living with intentionality and order, aligning your actions with your deepest values.
And for you listening, what should you walk away with?
Maybe the most powerful thing is a shift in perspective. This framework can help you see problems not just as problems, but as opportunities.
Opportunities, how so?
Well, every argument is a chance to practice habit 5, seek first to understand. Every mistake is a chance to make a huge EBA deposit by apologizing sincerely. Every challenge can trigger what the sources call the family immune system, the strength you build together, making you better prepared for the future.
Turning negatives into positive.
Exactly. And one final thought from the sources. It's this idea that you never really retire from family leadership.
Meaning the job's never done.
Pretty much. The responsibility to model these principles, to mentor, to organize the family structures like traditions, to teach, it's ongoing. And frankly, the sources say creating that kind of nurturing, encouraging home environment takes tremendous personal and also family courage today.
Because the outside world isn't always reinforcing these values.
Often, it's actively discouraging them, which makes the work inside the family even more critical.
So a final challenge for you listening, maybe.
Yeah. Given all this, think about one specific tradition. Could be a big rock, like starting a weekly family meeting or council. Or it could be a small kindness, like committing to read aloud together for 10 minutes each night. What's one thing you could start or strengthen this week to sharpen your family's saw?